Hi, I'm Jesslyn McCandless, and I am a social worker with Child Protective Services. Um, it says here your name is Jessie. Is that what you go by?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing really good, thanks. So I'm with Child Protective Services, like I said, and I got a referral from your son Tanner. Do you have a son named Tanner?
Yes.
Okay. So from your son Tanner's school, from what I was told, he came to school 2 days ago with a bruise on his face, and when teachers would ask him about it, he just got very shy and kind of scared to talk about it, it seemed, and he wouldn't give a forward answer. And so I'm just here to make sure that everything is okay, and if it's not okay, make sure I can help make it okay.
Okay.
That makes sense. So before I get into all that, and before you answer any questions, I want to let you know about our confidentiality policy. Anything you tell me is between you and I, unless of course you're planning to hurt yourself or someone else, or you find out a plan that someone's going to hurt you, in which case I have to alert the authorities and do what I can to get help. There are also optional, completely up to you, circumstances where I could bring you a release form and you would sign that, and that would allow me to give out certain pre-approved information to certain resources to help me help you, if that makes sense.
Yes, it does.
Okay, do you have any questions about any of that?
What kind of places would you be sending my information to?
It would definitely depend. It could be, for example, I know of some churches that love to help people who are struggling to pay their bills. So if you shared with me that you all were struggling to pay your bills, I could contact some churches I know that like to help with that, and I'd have to give them your name and number so that they could contact you. Or if you or one of your children need counseling or something like that, I would give a little bit of a tidbit of the situation to the counselor I was referring you to, or just, it's completely situational based, and it's nothing, it could be nothing or it could be everything. It all just depends on what you want. Does that make
Yes,
sense?
ma'am.
Cool. So before we get started, I just want to know a little bit about your family. So I know you have Tanner, obviously, because I mentioned him. Do you have any other kids?
I have a 5-year-old daughter named Allie and a 3-year-old son named Josh.
Oh, okay. Does Allie go to the same school as Tanner?
Yes.
Okay. And do you have a husband? Are you married or seeing someone?
Yes, I'm married. My husband, Ryan, is a mechanic.
He is? Okay. And do you have a job?
I used to be a nurse, but after my most recent child was born, I got caught up in taking care of him, and I don't really have time for that anymore.
Okay. Where did you go to college?
Campbellsville University, School of Nursing.
Oh, I heard that's a really good school. Okay, so tell me a little bit about, so you said your husband's a mechanic. Okay, so what kind of hours does he work?
He works from about like 8 to 7 at night, depending on how late it runs. Usually it's about 7:30.
Oh, okay. So tell me a little bit about the day-to-day routine in your household, from when the kids get home from school till they go to bed.
They usually get off the bus around 4 o'clock, and then they come in and I'll have a snack and do their homework. And then after that, they might go outside and play for a little bit, and then come inside a couple hours later while I'm cooking dinner. Then they'll eat, and then maybe watch some TV before bed, and then my husband will come in around 7 o'clock, and then they'll go to bed about an hour and a half after that.
Okay, so you said your husband comes in after dinner, is that what I gather?
Yes, typically.
Okay, so what kind of, I'm assuming you and your children eat dinner together, but what kind of engaging, like family activity, family time happens between Ryan and the children?
Not much. I mean, he is not really that engaged with them. He's usually, by the time he comes home at the end of the day, he's pretty tired and he doesn't really want to deal with anybody, so he's kind of cold, but the kids are obviously very excited to see him, and so they might throw themselves on him and be really excited, and then he might be kind of a little rough or negligent with them, like maybe shrug them to the side a little bit, or like push them off of him just because he's very stressed, that kind of thing.
Okay, so you said when your husband gets home from work, the kids get very excited to see him, and he's a little bit tired, and he's not always in the mood for that.
Yes.
And he just gets a little, you said negligent?
Yes, like they'll throw themselves on him just like trying to play, and then he might just like push them away, and then he might be a little too forceful. with that.
Okay. And when it comes to like the forceful side of things, and I'm putting that in quotes because that's what you said. How often, if I were to ask you, is it, very seldom, very rare, sometimes 50-50, or like often? Where would you?
It's like 70% of the time.
70% of the time? Okay. And okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and ask about the bruise on Tanner's face just to cover that. Do you know, were you around? Did you see that? Do you know what happened?
I do. It was a Saturday, and Tanner's still kind of young and figuring out how to do things, so he can be a little messy sometimes, and he was making cereal that morning, and he spilled milk all over the counter, and my husband thought, I guess, that he should know better than that, so he kind of slapped him to the side, and I guess that's where he got his bruise from.
Okay, so just so I understand, Tanner was making cereal, and he made a little bit of a mess, and Ryan got a little frustrated with that, so he kind of smacked him to the side as kind of like a disciplinary / stress of trying to clean up the mess.
Yes, I think it was more of him being stressed and him not knowing how to handle his stress, and he handled it the wrong way.
Okay, and would you say that he takes out his stress physically on the children very often?
Yes, like I said, probably about 70% of the time.
Okay.
He's around.
How would you say the kids normally react when that kind of thing happens?
I think they're kind of hurt. I think they don't really understand that his stress doesn't really have anything to do with them. I think it's more of like a financial thing. There's a lot of tension going on there since we had our last child, just trying to make ends meet and everything, and I think that they don't realize where all of that added stress is coming from, and so they probably take it personally, like they feel like they've done something wrong when really they haven't.
Okay. So you think that it's just like an overwhelming kind of stress, and the kids kind of take it a little personally sometimes, or?
Yeah.
Okay. And my next question is, how is Ryan as a disciplinarian towards the children?
He doesn't hold back. He's pretty rough. He doesn't have problems spanking. He, slapping them around every now and then just to get his point across. He's left them in tears many times.
Okay, and how do you usually, are you usually around when these things happen, or does he or the children tell you about it later? Like, how often would you say you witnessed this personally?
Occasionally when he comes home in the afternoons, and then on weekends, like if I'll go out to like run errands or something and he's keeping the kids, maybe the kids will tell me about it later, when I was gone, they got in trouble, and they would explain to me what happened.
So you don't see it very often, you just hear about it?
Yeah.
And this one with Tanner, did you say you saw that? I forgot to ask.
I was there that morning, yes.
Okay, and how do you said you don't see it very often, but when you do see it, how do you usually react to that?
Well, I try to calmly reason with my husband because I know that he's in a state of stress and he can't really rationalize when he's in that sort of state. And so I kind of give him a chance to cool down, and then I remind him that children don't really know what they're doing most of the time, and that he doesn't really need to be taking out his anger on them.
Okay, so, well, I'm obviously here for Tanner, and I was just going to let you know that the state of Kentucky has a law that if you're going to physically discipline your child, the law is a bare hand to a closed bottom. And so this was obviously to the face. And I was going to ask if you, because I know you've seen it, you said you tried to reason with your husband. So is there anything I can do to help you possibly find healthier, safer ways for you and Ryan to discipline your children?
Yes, actually, I definitely think he needs some anger management. If there's any way that you can provide that, I think that he could definitely benefit from that, and the children can benefit from that.
You think so? Okay, well, we obviously have to meet with him first and discuss that, but that is definitely something I could look into. I know we have parenting classes that offer anger management as well. Not to say that you're a bad parent or that you need parenting classes. It's just an option. Or I could look into some sources that are just anger management, and there could be, we have options to where the kids could be involved or not involved. You can be involved or not involved, however you want to do that. Is there any other kind of stress or strain that you think might be influencing this situation?
Well, we definitely are having some financial struggles.
Okay.
So if there's any way, I think that that's what's adding some of the stress. And I know that how we handle the situation is totally our responsibility, and we can't really blame anything for that. But I think that's what's creating a lot of the tension in our household is a lot of the financial instability. And I think that we could definitely benefit from some help with that.
Okay. Well, I will definitely be looking into that. I think our time is coming close to an end, but I would like to continue meeting with you. Let's say, could we do weekly, like once a week meetings?
Yes.
And I'll give you my card and we can make an appointment in a minute, but do you think it would be possible to have Ryan join us
Yes.
at the next meeting? You think he'd be open to that? Okay. So we will schedule an appointment. Do you have any questions or any concerns or anything for me right now?
No, I think you pretty much covered everything.
All right. Well, thank you so much for your time, Jessie. It was nice
Thank
meeting you.
You too.